Hey everyone, it's Andrew Praver here with Great Expectations Realty, and it's time for What's Up Ocala. I have so much to go over, so I will try to get through it quickly. Hopefully you had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. It was too short, much too short, but I had a great weekend. Let's talk about one of the things that I saw was this really cool article, and it was in the Florida Realtors, but I thought it would be really great to share with you. There was some debate going back and forth for years now. I've seen it with realtors and homeowners and so forth about whether to do an open house or not to do an open house. And personally, I am a huge fan of open houses. I think it's an excellent opportunity for the realtor to go in and present the house virtually at the same time as they're doing an open house. Obviously, if there are people coming in, for the open house, they're probably not going to want to be doing a YouTube live or a Facebook live or a TikTok live or whatever. But in between people coming in, that is a fantastic idea. You could also do it before the open house or after the open house. But I think it's a really good opportunity to show the house itself and to show your skills as a realtor as well, nationally, and if not that, internationally. I know I was on a TikTok live not too long ago, and I was having a wonderful conversation with somebody that lived in Scotland, and I was like, this is so weird. So to kind of break down those international barriers, I mean, you can reach people that you never would have normally reached by using social media, obviously, since you're watching this right now. Having that idea of an open house as you stick a sign in the yard and it's just kind of a plop and pray, you plop the sign and pray that it sells, that I don't think is what I'm talking about as far as an open house. An open house is to take an opportunity to show it to as many people as possible for the benefit of the seller. So while you're at the open house doing the Facebook lives, the YouTube live, the TikTok live, just one after another, sharing what the house looks like, sharing with as many people as possible, answering their questions. Hey, maybe somebody has, a question about what height the toilet's at. I'm not joking. This is seriously important to some people. So, answering those questions while you're in there can really, really provide a great benefit to people. I think a lot of sellers don't realize how many houses we're selling just using the internet right now. We're doing virtual tours. That happens so frequently anymore. It's just crazy. So if we can, do that for people that are out of state or they're stuck at the office and they don't want to miss an opportunity to purchase a home, they'll see those virtual tours. So, that is a major thing if you can actually see those, and you can promote it and everything in certain ways, doing that online. So I would highly recommend that if you are a realtor or if you are a seller, definitely promote that. Another thing that it does in this fast-paced, high-paced market that we're in right now is it makes it so much more convenient for the seller for showings. I mean, so much more convenient. So what we do is we actually will go ahead and get the professional pictures done for the house. We'll go ahead and prep everything, but the first day that it hits the market would be like a Friday, and then we have a Saturday and Sunday open for open house. That also makes it easier for other realtors. I mean, what if they're out, working with somebody else and a buyer wants to go and see it? I mean, that realtor can't be in two places at once, but if there's an open house, they can just send their buyer over. We work with the other realtors. We're not going to try and take their customers or whatever. If they say, hey, this is my realtor, it's like, cool, in you go. So it kind of opens things up. It's not quite a scheduling conflict for all involved. We want as many people as possible to go and see the open house, to see the home, so that they can actually, put an offer on it. They go in, all they need to do is look around. They're like, yep, looks like the pictures, and away they go back to their agents to write up an offer. How great is that? It allows for other people that are just driving by that maybe didn't see the online advertising, they can come in. But what's really cool is instead of you going, hey, you've got a showing at 2 o'clock, you got a showing at 3 o'clock, hey, you got a showing at 1 o'clock now, instead of having that, going on, you can just say, look, we're going to schedule an open time on Saturday, that first Saturday and that first Sunday. That's the open time that everybody's going to come over and see it. And those are the times set for scheduling. and I will be present for all showings because we're going to have the open house there anyway. Have the open house on Saturday, have it on Sunday. Everybody comes in, everybody gets an opportunity to go ahead and see it, put their offer in, and then by Monday morning, you should be looking at multiple offers and deciding which one. Super simple, super, super simple. Normally with something like that, if it's a really exciting listing, a lot of people have a lot of interest in it. We normally know if there's going to be a lot of interest beforehand. But if that's the case, we normally have more than one realtor. We'll call, one of the other agents, or for me personally, I just call my husband because he's also a realtor. But sometimes you want to have multiple agents there to help everyone, so that you don't have, it's really hard to keep an eye on everybody. So, and you are responsible for somebody else's home for that time period. So you want to make sure that you have enough people to do that. So it's a little bit of a circus, but it does actually make it more convenient. So the homeowner is not going to be like, okay, I have to get the house ready. All right, now we can relax. Oh no, I have to get the house ready. Oh no, I got to put the dogs away. No, it's this time frame and this time frame, and you're done. It just makes it so much simpler. So we are enjoying them for that. What gets me is when you ask a real estate agent, and you're interviewing them for your listing, and you're like, are you going to do open houses? And they're like, oh no, those don't work. I beg to disagree. It works for so many, but again, that says more about what their perspective is they're going to do the plop and pray kind of mentality. They're not going to truly advertise that open house. They're not going to truly work towards getting your home sold. They're going to do things the way they always do them because that's the way their mindset is. Think outside the box, do a Facebook Live, do a YouTube Live. Even if nobody shows up for the open house itself, hundreds of people could see it potentially online. That's huge. It's really difficult to have hundreds of people walk through an open house, but you can very easily get it to hundreds of people online. And what's crazy is if somebody knows that there's a friend or a family member that's looking for a house in that neighborhood, that price range or whatever, they'll share the live, or they'll share that information over to somebody else. And those videos, those live, those sit on the channel after the fact so they can access it later. It is so incredibly helpful. So if you have an agent that is like, those never work, question that person. A lot of people are saying, are we going to have real estate agents, in the future? I think they're becoming obsolete. I'm going to have to agree. If you are not changing with the times, you will be obsolete. If you say, I'm not comfortable with computers, I'm not comfortable with social media, I'm not comfortable with this. No, it can be very difficult, but if you're not changing with it, you're gonna get left behind. This is a technological world. Everybody is using computers. Everybody is using social media. Everybody is looking and buying houses online. If you're not online, you're gonna be left behind. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave that alone. But the time from my grandmother, she actually, it makes it sound like it was so long ago, but it was in the 90s. That was a long time ago. Anyway, but she was a realtor down in, she's a broker down in Fort Myers, Florida. And she was so proud to be telling me about how, she was one of the first that had a car phone, and it was extremely expensive, but she had a car phone because she knew that was the right thing to do, and she knew that was going to be. And I'm just sitting here going, I can't imagine not having GPS, not having social media to show listings. I can't imagine the MLS not being on my computer but being in a book. I mean, I can't even imagine how time consuming it must have been to do that job like that. That's crazy to me. I can do 20 times, literally go circles around what she used to do. But at that point, that was the way it was done. She would have left me in the dust as far as the relationships and stuff, because she would go out to lunch every day with people, and she would develop the relationship. I'm like, I want to eat at my desk and get it out of the way. I bring my lunch just because I don't have the time to be doing that normally. So some of my customers I do go out to lunch with, but yeah, it's really hard. It was just a completely different way of doing things. And I've noticed there are still people still real estate agents that do things the way she did them, and they're just dragging their feet getting into how it's being done now. And it's just like, you know, the idea of selling a home virtually is just shocking and scary. And that's the way it is now. Especially since the pandemic. That's just, you know, nobody wanted them in their houses. Nobody wanted to go into somebody else's house. It was just kind of hands off was the way to go. So kind of interesting. That kind of catapulted us forward into a more digital age, even more so than it was before. So, but back to this article where I've completely gone off topic, but sort of. It was actually called Safeguarding Your Home During Open Houses. And I read through it, and it was perfect. This is exactly what I tell people all the time when we're preparing, not just for an open house, but also for showings. Even if you're not doing an open house and you're just preparing for showings, I cannot tell you the things that I've seen in houses when I go to show a buyer. It just absolutely, like one time I went in to show a house. The seller had gone for a walk. He'd taken his dog for a walk, and there was cash in perfect little piles all over the table, all over the he had been doing his bill paying, and apparently he used like an envelope system or something. I don't know, but there was cash all over the table, and I'm just like, I cannot show this house because now I have to stand here and guard his cash. Why would you do that to me? So I did let his agent know that she needed to have a little coming to Jesus with him about what can be left out, because I know I wasn't taking anything, but I mean, that's a huge temptation for some people. And I'm like, I don't know these buyers enough to leave them in a room with cash and be responsible for their life choices. So I was just like, this is insane. But so many times, people will leave medications out. They'll leave, I've seen guns. I've seen the amount of stuff that I've seen when I go to show, I've seen drugs. I was like, really? Come on. So yeah. And yeah, we'll not even talk about the S&M dungeon that my husband walked into one time. That was just, there should have been some notes somewhere from that listing agent. It was just, really? So, I mean, what if you've got kids with you or something? You know, there's just certain things that you have to prepare for when you're putting your house up for sale. So, one of the things that it mentioned is never picture anything of value in listing photos. And I think that is huge. So if you have something that is worth a lot of money, and it's just in the background to you, you might not even think about it. But before the pictures are done, or taken, go ahead and remove anything of high value that can be easily stolen, because that's huge. It really is. Another one that my photographer actually told us about, or the photographer that we use, I can't say he's mine, but his wife Marie will get mad at me. But anyway, he was actually talking about how he was going to have a really hard time because there was this beautiful house, absolutely beautiful house, and the seller was an art dealer. And there was a lot of nudes. It was, you know, they were real paintings from, you know, back in the day, and they were very tastefully done, but you can't put that on the internet. Once it's on the internet, a picture of that could be misconstrued. So he's like, I'm going to have to blur so many images. And he's like, if I miss even one, I could get in trouble. So I was like, oh, you know, so if you have even tasteful, beautiful artwork, you may need to switch it out or just take it down for the pictures or for advertising and stuff, because you just can't have that on the internet. Hide any bills or other documents that you might have with your contact information, social security numbers, or bank account numbers. Yes, people, this is your home. Of course, you're going through bills. You've got this right here. No, you do not want to have all of that in there, because I've never come across it, but it has happened to other real estate agents where they are, you know, showing a home and the people are specifically there to break in later. So it's kind of crazy. Remove checkbook and bank deposit slips. That I don't know that many people use checkbooks anymore, but yeah, don't leave them sitting out. Lock up or remove jewelry and antiques. Also, key thing, hide extra keys, house keys, car keys, and garage door openers. I was just at a showing where, I, locked up and everything. And then I look over and sitting right there on the kitchen counter is a whole bunch of keys to the house and garage door openers. And I'm like, well, great. What if I have my back turned, my eyes not on the buyer or buyers? Sometimes there's 2 or 3 of them together and they just grab one of them and help themselves to the house later. Like, it was a vacant home. So that is a distinct possibility. A fully furnished vacant home, I might add. So for stuff like that, just keep it in mind. You don't want to have all your extra house keys and garage door openers and stuff like that just sitting there, because they are very, very easily taken. And yeah, that's just, they can come back later. That's basically it. So don't hide anything in your top dresser drawer. That is a place thieves like to look first. That's actually for great information for all of us all the time. Okay, do not hide stuff in your top dresser drawer. That's the key. Like, you all know it's your underwear drawer. It's your underwear drawer. Anyway, or sock drawer, whichever. Yeah, don't put it in there. Don't put it in there, because everybody checks that. So that's a terrible hiding place. Terrible hiding place. Hide your smartphones, tablets, and laptops. Obviously, electronics are the easiest to resell or reuse. Excuse me. I also would have to say those little watches, the Apple watches. I was actually doing an open house one time, and the seller calls me in a panic, and he's like, oh my goodness. He's like, could you go into my office? And I'm like, what am I doing here? And he's like, just go into my office and can you grab my Apple Watch and tuck it away somewhere? Because he's like, I know you told me and you warned me and everything, but I had it charging and I meant to grab it before I left the house, but we didn't. So, I was like, oh, so thankful that he actually told me that. So I went in, sure enough, it's like right there. I'm like, oh. So I went and took that, tucked it away and hid it somewhere. And I was like, okay, here's the hiding spot, so you don't think I took it. He's like, thank you so much. I was like, oh, I warned you. Come on. But stuff happens. I get it. But, try to remember to hide stuff like that. You don't want it just easily, especially a watch is very super easy to pick up and walk away with. Shut off your desktop computers and lock them with a passcode. Mine does it automatically. It goes into sleep mode or whatever if I'm not standing right there. But definitely do that. That was not one that I actually thought to do, but to have all of your information right there on your desktop computer or whatever, definitely not something that you want to share with the entire world. And it's just a real quick flash drive. You see it in the TV and the movies all the time, but it is actually true. You can take a lot of files very, very quickly and very easily with that. So yeah, hide your TV, computer, and Wi-Fi passwords. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but normally your Wi-Fi password that's on the actual Wi-Fi router or whatever it's called, yeah, most people don't change that. So maybe, yeah, change that, because somebody can come later and not even be inside the house. They just need to be close enough. They can actually access your entire Wi-Fi and everything. So yeah, nosy neighbors and yeah, that's not good. We kind of already talked about this one a little bit. Lock up your prescription medications. I cannot tell you how often this will become a problem, because drugs are a serious thing. And addiction, it's really hard to, people with addiction issues, they even surprise themselves at what they're willing to do to get that fixed. So make sure that your prescription medications are locked away. Take videos or pictures to record what was in each room before the open house occurred. That was not something I normally tell people to do, but that one I thought was a really great idea. Make sure your realtor has everyone sign in before touring the home. That is so difficult sometimes, because people are like, no, I just want to go in. I don't want to give you my information. I don't want to be spammed into oblivion. And I'm like, the homeowner is requiring that before you access their house, they at least have your information. So you can choose to leave or you can choose to see this house, but either way, you're giving your information. So we try to make it fun. We'll do like raffles or something like that, giveaways, sign in so I know where to contact you after the event to give you your gift card. So that does help a little bit. But yeah, that's like a really big deal. a lot of people will just put like Mickey Mouse. Well, Mickey Mouse, you just won a $15 Panera gift card and I can't contact you. So there you go. After each open house, ask your realtor to make sure all windows and doors are locked. I cannot say enough how important that is. Because at times people have in the past gone into the open house or the showing and unlatched one window so they can go back later. Hide photos that show your family. That's for many, many reasons, but it's basically, especially, you know, for safety reasons for kids and stuff. And if you'll be away from the away after the open house, ask a neighbor to check that all the doors are locked. There have been times where the real estate agent or whoever showed the house is so excited about showing the house and they get distracted and they actually leave the house unlocked. I don't think I've done that one. It's a possibility. I have one time actually gotten home after showing like 10 or 12 houses. I was so exhausted, and I reached in my pocket to get my house keys and I pulled out one key. I had stolen somebody's key. I didn't do it on purpose. It was in the lockbox and I guess I put it in my pocket while I was walking around, and then I left. The problem was I couldn't figure out which of the 10 or 12 houses it belonged to. So I had to call all the listing agents to be like, there may be a problem. Had a little bit of blonde moment. So I actually changed that now. I actually put the key and at the bottom of the lockbox or whatever. I keep it in my hand the whole time. I do not set it down anywhere in the house. So some people will be like, you know, you left the door open or you left the door, you know, the key or whatever. And I'm like, I do it on purpose. Do not change anything. So, yeah, it's just, I have to adjust. So anyway, those are all really good things that I want you guys to keep in mind, not just with open houses, but if you're putting your house up for sale, to keep in mind, look at it more as a storefront, really. You are selling something. So, you know, it's the same as if you go to sell your car to somebody and they want to take it for a test drive. Are you going to leave, like, you know, your social security number right there in the car? No, you're going to take out those bills. You're not going to leave, you know, them sitting alone with extra car keys or anything later, you know, all this stuff. You know, are you going to leave valuables in the car while they, you know, go for a test drive or whatever? No, you want to make sure that all of that stuff is removed before you put the car up for sale. Same thing for a house. Make sure all of that stuff is well removed, hidden in a very secure location, preferably a safe or something, or just take it with you. Just take it with you, especially if they're small and easily pocketed valuables. Just put them in your own pocket. Take them with you. All right. I do want to remind you about the free home buyer workshop that we have May 18th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So that's a Wednesday night from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and that means that we will be having a YouTube live. So feel free to join us for that event. So I did not do one on Saturday because I knew I was going to do one on Wednesday. So I probably could have done both, but meh. Anyway, y'all hear about me enough or hear from me enough. But I got really great results from the last virtual homebuyer workshop that we did. Of course, if you want to come to our office, it's at 3201 Southwest 34th Avenue. We're basically on 200. There's like the Ollie's right there on 200. There's a Red Lobster across the street. There's a Bank of America on the corner. That road right there, the back of our building goes to the back of the Ollie's building. So it used to be an old Publix, but anyway. So yeah, that is what we're going to be doing on Wednesday night. If you don't know if you can afford a house or what can you afford, especially with these increased interest rates, that would be a really great opportunity for you to find that out. We're going to answer questions for you about like how much cash you need to purchase a home, your credit, how can you get a grant, especially one to help with your down payment or closing costs. How you actually buy a house. What are the steps here in Marion County, Florida to purchase a home? And also why you would want to purchase a home. There are so many good reasons to purchase a home that are not just financial. So many people look at the financial, but it actually adds a huge level of stability to your home and to your family just because you purchased or because you're a homeowner. So anyway, we will go over all of that. So that is Wednesday evening from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So look forward to seeing you guys on that. What about this weekend? What have we got going on this weekend in Ocala? We have so much, it's not even funny. All right, so we've got the Ocala Downtown Market, which is Saturdays 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's on the corner of Southeast 3rd Street and Southeast 3rd Avenue. They've got vendors, fresh produce, of course, it's a farmer's market. They've got food trucks, live music, coffee and mimosas. It's pet friendly and kid friendly. They've got like a little playground outside as well. And it's got arts and crafts, of course. So it is so much fun. I highly recommend that you guys go down there. At least try it once. It's so great. We also have the Ocala Eye Ladies Night Out. They are going to do their launch of their new laser treatments. It's, of course, a free event, so just stop in. That is Thursday, May 19th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's just Ladies Night Out, so stop in. We have Beauty and the Beast, the musical, is going on from May 12th to June 5th. And that's over at the Ocala Civic Theater. Tickets are $30 and $15 for 18 and under. So stop on out if you are able to. It's supposed to be a really amazing show. The Levitt Amp music series is going on right now like crazy. It's basically, the series is on Friday evenings from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. over at Webfield. And it's just so cool. It's cool to see, you know, some of the couples that get up and start dancing, and it's just neat. The food trucks are great. There's games to play and stuff like that, but just listening to these really great artists and all that music is just awesome. I cannot say how wonderful it is that we actually have this kind of thing. There are each year 10 shows and there's 20 artists. So it's like this 10-week music series that goes on. It's over at Webfield, so really centrally located. That's at 1501 West Silver Springs. We have the karaoke and trivia night. That's over at Bank Street Patio Bar. If you guys have not gone to Bank Street, you're missing out. I love the outdoor seating that they have there. Although I have to say that a lot of the furniture swings and stuff that they had in the back part, I only saw like one there, but it's really cool. So you can it's the coolest place to have some really great food, just really great ambiance and be outdoor. They have an indoor section as well. If you're just not feeling it and you want some air conditioning, great, you can go inside. But just, it's like everybody just gets to hang out on your back porch. I mean, that's really the feel of it. You're just sitting there, you know, having a great time with friends and family, sitting on your back porch. There's some games you can play there and everything. it's a really, really fun, great place to go. So highly, highly recommend. It's downtown on the square. But yeah, apparently they've got the Night Sounds is doing the trivia and karaoke, and that starts at 7 p.m. and it goes until 8:30. That's for the trivia. But basically Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is all of it going on. So Wednesdays, the Bank Street Patio Bar is the place to be, apparently. I think that is about it. I know there was so much stuff going over at the World Equestrian Center too. So it's so hard to keep up with it all. We also have the drive-in here. We have the Marion Theater. We have the Riley Arts Center. There is so much stuff for you guys to go and see and do here in Ocala. If you guys are local or if you're coming for a visit, please, please, please go out and check out what Ocala has to offer. There are some hardworking individuals that put forth all of this stuff, especially like something like the Levitt Amp music series. That took a lot of time and effort to provide to the community, and to have those live music events, it's just huge. It's absolutely huge. Not to mention all of those in the Beauty and the Beast over at the Ocala Civic Theater. I mean, that takes so much to put on productions like that. So to be part of it and to do all of that is really great, and I highly recommend that you go and check those out. We have the pools opening. We have community pools in Marion County, and those are opening as of Memorial Day weekend. It starts on Saturday, but then they're closed Sunday and Monday, and then they're open up again on Tuesday. But I would say after Memorial Day weekend, go for it if you want. There's the Aquatic Center over at Gant. My family and I have spent many happy hours over at that pool. And then there's also the one over at, oh, now it's going to drive me nuts. It's not that far from Webfield. Anyway, the Hampton is the other aquatic center, and they're equally awesome swimming centers. So it's just a few dollars to get in, like literally like $2 or $3, depending on if you're a kid or adult, to get into that. So make time to spend some time with your family, take them over to the pool, cool off the summer. You can also use the splash pads. There's one over at Citizen Circle, which is right there near the square. And those are great. You just hit the button and you just send the kids in to get soaked. It's great opportunity. So there's a lot of different splash pads all throughout Marion County. There's some pools as well. It's a great place to hang out. I personally love sitting on those lounge chairs over at Derby Gant and being like, okay, go forth and swim. Anytime I get hot, I go take a dip in the water. It's just awesome. It's like having the benefit of a pool, but not having to maintain the chlorine levels. It's awesome. I love it. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise for me, please hit me up online. Our website is GER.ExpectationsRealty.com. Yes, we got a major upgrade on our website. So it's now GER.ExpectationsRealty.com. Or if you're interested in the investing or property management side, you're going to want to go over to GreatExpectationsPM.com, property management. So GreatExpectationsPM.com will get you there, or GreatExpectationsRealty.com to contact me or one of these sales agents. So, all right, hopefully I will see you guys next week. If this has been at all helpful or entertaining or educational or whatever, please feel free to subscribe to our channel. Also, you can go ahead and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime a new video comes out, or if we have a live event. We try to do at least one live event per week, so that we can actually communicate and talk back and forth, and it's a lot of fun. There's also there's actually going to be some other agents that are going to be doing some live events as well. So that should be a lot of fun. Just not to just see me sitting here. But anyway, if this has been helpful, or if you think that a friend or family member would be helped with the same information or just be entertained by it, feel free to laugh at me with them and just shoot this over to them. Would love to hear from them as well. All right, you guys have a great week, and hopefully we will talk soon. Bye. Malia, I'm so sorry. So let's go ahead and talk about Market Watch. Market Watch today is kind of depressing, not gonna lie. So we had new listings in the last 24 hours. Residential only in this case, 17. I was kind of curious to see what the residential only, so it wasn't like everything involved, it was just residential purchase. 17 in the last 24 hours. So price increase 19, price decrease 9. So kind of interesting there. But this week it's been kind of going haywire. I looked at the 7-day report and we had far more decreases than increase for the residential in the last 7 days. So I think it's just kind of, we're hitting a lot of fluctuations in the market. A lot of changes are going on, and that's definitely affecting things. We had a huge amount of people that were qualified for a certain amount for a house, and with that increase in interest rates, they got basically taken out of the market. So we have a lot less buyers this week than we had in previous months because they just no longer qualify for anything that would be a reasonable amount to pay for a house. I mean, if they're only qualified for like 100 or 150,000, that is going to be super, super difficult to find anything right now. It really is. So that's kind of what we're facing, is having to tell some buyers that have been trying to purchase a home for a while now, that it's they waited too long, basically. I know that sounds really awful, but that's the truth. And sometimes you just have to tell them the truth. So yeah, we're definitely facing that. Back on the market, 11, that is definitely something that we're seeing, is a lot of A lot of issues with buyers that are walking away from properties. I think some people are like, okay, this one will work for right now, but I'm going to continue to see what else is out there. I'm going to lock this down because I don't want to be homeless. But if something better comes along, I'm walking away from that. And they're even walking away from their escrow and everything. So that was surprising to me to see how many buyers are willing to do that. There's like $4 or $5 grand, but you know, then I can get the house I really want instead of the one that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and walk away. So kind of crazy. But yeah, we are actually asking for more of an earnest money deposit when people put forth an offer, because we want to make sure that they're serious. So yeah, back on the market, 11 sold, 25. And then we also had 53 go pending. 53 this weekend went pending, and only 17 new listings. So yeah, while we do have those fluctuations, obviously it's still a seller's market. I don't know that it's going to stay a hardcore seller's market. It's definitely not going to stay as hot as it is right now because of those interest rates. Anytime that you have a less of a demand, then it's going to affect those prices. So yeah, basically we're kind of got a run on houses right now, but that may not continue because we won't have that many buyers. So which means it's going to bring down demand. So hopefully we got all that figured out. But yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of fluctuations this week. Very interesting, very interesting. So we'll see what happens with that. It's kind of, you know, everybody's like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I don't know. I keep seeing, oh, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. We don't know. We honestly, there's nobody that can say, I know exactly what's going to happen, because we don't. We have an idea of the future based on the past, but it's, you know, you have to know what's happened in the past and how it happened and why it happened and all of the factors involved before you can really see, safely say what's going to happen next. You have to see where you've been and where you are right now before you can, you know, really tell what's going to happen next. And so, some are just, you know, going through fear mongering. Some really do believe that there's going to be like this crazy massive crash and it's going to be just absolutely crazy. A lot of them are saying it's going to continue to go up. Some are saying it's going to continue to go down, or it's going to stabilize. For me personally, I think it's going to stabilize. But it really just depends. I mean, if interest rates continue to rise as quickly and as heavily as they are, it will have to decrease eventually, but we're not going to see that for a little bit. So hopefully that helps. Let's move on.